Hello.
Hello, Jessiie B. Third time lucky. We got this. What could go wrong?
Got it. This is going to be so good.
Yes. And hello and welcome back to the Minecraft Update podcast. We are unofficially on episode 42. It is just me and Jessiie here this week, but we've got a week full of many things for you, including this week, feedback, news, bug dates, wish lists, and questions. And there's a lot to talk about, Jessiie.
Excited.
So, before we get into any of that stuff, though, I want to know exactly what you've been doing this week. And it's been a busy week for you, hasn't it, Jessiie B?
It has been incredibly busy. We started TV Season 5. Season 5 hype. And it has been so much fun. I have to genuinely and honestly say, this season has been my favorite start so far. It feels like we're very close. I've had interactions with people. I think every single day I've been on the server. We have Rogue back, which is great. Like, it's just, It's been so fun. So yeah, I've just been busy terraforming our shopping area. I have been busy just, recording, editing. It's been great. I am genuinely very happy this week.
Good. So tell me more about season 5 and your plans, if you want to share them. What you're intending to do for the season, either the beginning or the end. What's your goal? I
am going to have a massively terraformed and beautiful area. I have kind of ideas planned out. It's huge. It's going to be a lot of stream projects, I think, honestly. But this season, I'm actually going to do more with my alt account. So ooh. I have many fun plans there, and I'm looking forward to more personal story stuff. Hopefully we have more TB story stuff. I'm really inspired. So I have.
Is that evil Jessiie you're talking about?
Yeah. She will be around. She has her own base this season even.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jeez, you're taking on two bases. See, yep. I thought about doing stuff like that before. I was like, I could do a big chicken video and he can have his own base and a Mr. Runny video. And I was like, yes, but then I need more time. I need 3 weeks into one. So yeah. No, I'm just going to stick with just FoxyNoTail again this season. Jeez. Okay. So yeah, obviously me too. I've also been taking part in joining and starting season 5 and building it. And putting it all together, which is the super things that I've been doing over the last 2 weeks are finally all out, and they involved our season 4 finale, in which we had a flying spaceship that took us to the moon. And what I was really happy with that is we managed to do the entire thing in game, no cuts, no graphics, no changing servers or worlds or anything like that, which sounds great. Apart from when you had to build it all. So the way it worked, peeps, at home, because I've had a few questions about this, was basically we took the Truly Bedrock Season 4 world download. I then went into another world, created a moon in the end by doing many commands, and then I had to import that moon using my handy clone tool into the Truly Bedrock world. And then I had to build a spaceship that had working GPS that actually pointed to a location on the moon with an altitude meter so that we could fly high enough to not see the ground below us, so it felt like we were going into space. I had to set it so that when we got a certain distance in range of the moon, the stars started moving, so it looked like we were going out of the atmosphere. And then, then I had to make the moon actually break and fall to pieces in game, which was interesting. But we did it. It worked all right, didn't it? It wasn't too bad.
It was genuinely amazing. When we first got in there and we first saw it, I don't understand, one, how your brain works, and two, how you managed to get it done in such a short amount of time, because my brain says, oh, that probably took a lot of time. That had to have taken ages. And we, for a little inside information, we didn't know the season was ending when it ended. So, no. So it was very much so short time. And I was just so impressed. I cannot believe you've managed to do everything you did especially considering you've also made dolphins writable. Come on, let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. Yes. And robots, Jessiie B.
Oh, well,
and the mini game for episode 0, and the deep dark portal, and the intro to season 5. Don't forget all of those things. But yeah, let's focus on the dolphins, easiest of all.
Okay,
all of them.
Okay. It might be the easiest, but it is definitely the thing I think that has gained the most attention. Like,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, but the dolphins are useful now.
It was really cool. Although I do want to say, how did you do our season opener? That was so cool. None of us saw that coming. None of us knew that was there. And it was really cool.
Well, the screen thing that moved about and talked.
That was so cool.
Yeah, that was more work than I thought it was going to be. So, okay. Where do I start? So for the intro thing, I wrote a script, and I took that script to something called Amazon Polly, which is basically a system where you can put words in and it will speak it. It's a text-to-speech thing, effectively, but it tries to make it as realistic as possible. And then I took that, I downloaded that audio file and put it in a system to put lots of effects on it to make it sound a little bit robotic. And then I built an entity that was just a flat screen, ran lots of scripts to make it change the picture that was on it every few seconds to go in time with the audio, and then I animated it in time with the audio so that it would do the things we wanted it to do. So it's a complicated thing to do, but it wasn't as complicated as like the moon ship or the robot. They were the most complicated things to do. So yeah, I won't go into detail on how they were all done, but geez, yeah, that was I want to come back to what you just said there about not having any time.
Yeah.
We decided to update the day after Minecraft Live. That's what we were waiting for as a team. We knew that after that announcement would either decide whether we stayed on this season or moved on to the next season. And I think most of us were pretty convinced we were going to be going on to a new season unless they announced something drastic. So I had from basically that date to finish everything I was doing on Truly Bedrock Season 4, build all of this stuff for Truly Bedrock Season 5, and then, get it all implemented. And I did it just in time. In fact, I think I had about 3 or 4 days to spare. So I think it wasn't too bad. Although we did make a few changes right near the beginning again. That took me for more time.
Yeah, it was genuinely so impressive. As somebody, one who just doesn't understand a lot of coding and stuff like that, and doesn't really get how all of that works, even I knew and could appreciate how hard that must have been, and how just absolutely out of the park you nailed it. Like, it was brilliant. No complaints on my end for sure.
Good. Well, thank you. And thank you for indulging me while I blow my own trumpet at the beginning of the podcast.
Of course.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Mr. Onion's hologram and all that. Yeah. No, let's move on. If you haven't seen any of those things, then make sure to check out all of the TB members' season finales, episode 0s and episode 1s, because it's all in there. And I think the different perspectives on that were great. So yeah, in fact, I'm still behind on actually. I want to catch up on everybody's episode 0, but I've been so busy with then actually recording videos and keeping up to date and changing packs and fixing things since we started that I haven't had a chance to catch up on everyone's yet. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys got on in particular, and then how the Silence, Loyaliara and Rogue team got on. Yeah,
I've managed to get one of everybody's, like one of each team's. But again, since we started the new season, I just haven't had as much time as I would like. But eventually I'd like to watch them all. So far, every team had such a different experience. It genuinely makes me laugh.
Yeah, ours was interesting. Yeah, I think it was the 5 wardens spawned at once, and then Slack somehow managing to get one up to the portal was my particular favourite bit. But geez, yeah, getting on to, before we go on to the feedback, just finishing off the segment of my week. Obviously, I've been playing on the server as well and really, really enjoying it. We're doing at the moment we decided to go back to our roots, really, a little bit like Season 0, and do a thing based on the ocean where we're all on these rafts, and it's a little bit like Skyblock, but you're in the water. So we got a sapling and a bucket of water, a bucket of lava each, and a boat, and we weren't allowed out of the area. We weren't allowed to the mainland for the first 48 hours, and I think quite a few people have even stuck to that since then. So yeah, that's just been really, really, really good fun. I've really enjoyed that, and it's really nice to sort of have that thing and then be able to move on to like our bases a little bit later on. So yeah, loving it, absolutely loving it. Really, really engaged with it, and wishing I had more time to do that than anything else at the minute, because I'm just so up for playing on it. I haven't been this engaged in Minecraft in a very long time. So yeah, yes, right. Anyway, that's enough about me and you, Jessie. It's time to find out what our audience, our listeners, thought of the podcast last week. And we're going to start with Dutch, who says, "Hey guys, love the podcast. Just found it recently and makes for great listening while I'm at work. We'll be listening to all the old episodes over the coming months for the sake of Minecraft history. Look forward to hearing more. Keep up the fantastic work." So thank you very much for that, Dutch. That's an amazing piece of feedback. Any thoughts on that, Jessie?
Yeah, that's amazing. We have quite a few episodes, so enjoy them.
And good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
What's that? 41 episodes, around about 2 hours an episode. So you're looking about 82 hours. That's not too bad. You can nail that out in a couple of days.
Yeah,
Jessie
definitely.
puts more than that in per day on TB.
I don't know about per day. I mean,
I don't know. I've seen you squeeze 48 hours into about 12. I'm sure of it.
Probably, knowing me. Dutch again says, "Hey Jessie, Slack, and Foxy. I have been listening to all the old episodes, trying to catch up, and had to pause because I had a thought on the potential unintended use for horns. They could be considered a countermeasure for skulk sensor-based traps or base defenses. You approach a base, fire off your horn, defense activate without you being in the line of fire. Just a thought. Please disregard if they've already disproved this or whatever. Love the podcast. Makes long nights cleaning classrooms much easier. Can't wait for the latest episode. PSS." There. "Maybe I'll be able to bless your ears with my own voice one of these days. My only characteristic that's regularly complimented." There we go. I got it out there in the end.
So is Dutch saying that their characteristic, the only characteristic? Jeez, I can't say either. The only characteristic that's regularly complimented. Oh my goodness! Let's forget this one. Move on. Jeez, I think Dutch is saying that his only characteristic that's regularly complimented is his voice.
Yes. Yeah. That's.
So that's a dig at me, right? Jeez,
A little bit.
Thanks, Dutch. Appreciate it. Wow. Okay. So horns for activating skulk sensor-based traps. That sounds. I assume that would work. I don't know. Does a horn set off a skulk sensor?
So. I mean, there's only one way to find out. I would imagine so, because it's definitely louder than a bow.
Yeah, I'm sure that would work. Give it a go, Dutch, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Whitebush says, "Hello again, crew. Just a quick note on your discussion of pick block changes from the last episode." Oh, no, not this again. We went on for long enough. Okay. "I was 1,000,000% with Jessie's suggestion on how it should work, then thought about Fox's argument a little more and realised you were both arguing the same thing, just from different points of view, and both of you can have it your way. Jessie's view was from the inventory management side and Fox's was from the building in-hand point of view. From observation, it seems that when you pick block something, it scans your inventory from left to right, top to bottom for a matching stack, and simply switches out that inventory slot with no consideration for any other possible stacks in your inventory, which could leave you with 53 items and a slot of 4 instead of one stack of 57. If they simply added a second check that would attempt to fill the other non-full stacks of the item in hand that is already in your inventory rather than simply swapping inventory slots with what's in your hand, it would accomplish both your wishes and mine. An inventory slot of 2 and one of 38 is so frustrating." Whitebush.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, moving on.
Soft Boy says, "Hey guys, a photo album book feature you described is in Education Edition. This doesn't help, but it is interesting in my opinion." That does not say "in my opinion." It
doesn't. It says "laugh my bottom off," but with an A.
It does. It does.
I preferred in my opinion.
I did too.
When I started setting up the server for season 5, it's the first time I'd gone into 1.19.40 because we've been playing season 4 on 1.19.10. And when you activate the experimental features and Education Edition particularly, because we have Education Edition turned on for the camera accounts, then you actually get errors in Minecraft 1.19.40 and 1.19.41 saying that it can't find the photo book and another couple of things as well. So, yeah, I didn't even know they existed until that happened. I was like, oh, so they've got photo stuff. We were talking about that on the podcast, and then Softboy, obviously, with the feedback there, confirming that. So, yeah, it's a shame it's not in the real game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but at least we know that it can be like it's coded, so would be kind of cool.
I told you all the stuff in the good ideas bin would come to Minecraft. I just didn't say which version, bro. Okay, Paulie Boy says, hey gang, long-time listener, first-time caller. So glad you finally got a Discord for the podcast. Keep up the great work. We finally did it, Paulie Boy, after all these years. Jeez. Yeah. We've got a podcast. We've got a Discord.
That made me laugh. Robo Rufus said, I love the TV season finale and the episode zeros. I've only watched Foxy's POV, though. The podcast is great, too. Listen to it while making add-ons, because if I don't, I get an annoying ringing in my ears. Robo Rufus.
Speaking of annoying ringing in your ears, not necessarily annoying ringing in your ear, but you know how I went on a bit of a, not necessarily a rant, but I've been quite vocal about the fact that the way my mind works, I can only focus on one thing at once. So I can't I can't play on the PC while I've got the radio on or another video or like a live stream or anything like that, because it just doesn't work. I have been doing my TB season 5 off camera stuff whilst, get this, Jessiie B, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and watching live streams.
I don't know what to say. Like,
I've been trying really hard to do it. I do have to pause them sometimes when I got to concentrate, but most of the time I've been able to do it.
I would say I'm proud of you, but I don't know if that's something I should be proud of. Like, it feels like a bad habit, right? Like, it feels like you shouldn't be trying to focus in multiple places at once, but I can't help but do it. And so it's just like, I don't want to push my bad habits on you.
The ability to do that, I think, is, if you can't do that, it makes you very difficult to like work in a work environment with other people, or it's basically it's a good thing being able to do that, being able to engage with more than one type of medium at once, or more than one thing coming in at once, because if you can't, like, I still now, if I'm on a phone with somebody and I've got someone else in the room, you know how that other person in the room always has to say something while you're on the phone, because they can kind of hear the conversation. As soon as that person opens their mouth, they literally, I can't hear the person on the other end of the phone. Even if it's turned up really loud, it's like my brain blocks it out. So then I'm like, sorry, what did you say a second ago?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's awkward. So I trying to expand my abilities to be able to focus on two things at once is, I think it's a vital. I know it's a bit late in my life learning new things like this, but at least I'm trying.
Yeah, no, okay. If in that context, I would say good. I'm glad that it hopefully can help, and you're doing better with it.
Yeah, and get in there. Bugsalotl. Bugsalotl. Is it my turn or yours? I think
it's yours. Yeah.
Okay. It says, I just don't get the sniffer. Thanks, Bugsalotl. Really, really handy feedback there. Really appreciate it, mate. I don't get it either. What's it all about? I don't know. Oh, jeez. Do you get the sniffer, Jess? Do you get it? I don't get it.
Which one's the sniffer?
What is it? A joke? It's the one that won, the one with the plant.
Oh, it's the dinosaur one. I don't get it, but I love it. I'm so. It's gonna sniff out seeds, and so we're gonna get new plant types. And you know me, so I'm all for it. I finally
What if
won
they're
one.
the ugliest plants in
I
the world?
don't
What if
care.
they're absolutely hideous?
Do not care. I will find
What
a
if
use
they
for it.
look like totally awkward shaped diorite?
I mean, I'm using diorite this season. I'll make it work.
Okay, fair enough. Positive about plants.
Right?
They don't care.
Yep.
They don't care.
I am
What if they're
plant
just
positive.
the fruit bushes, but with different coloured berries?
Ooh, I would love that too.
You hate those bushes.
I do because they sting me, but they're pretty. That's why I put them high above where I stand in like little planters. I use
Floating
them.
bushes.
Yeah, floating
Right, okay.
bushes. They're great.
What if those bushes could hang down from a block?
Oh, that would be so pretty. Like hanging pot
Okay.
plants. I'm here for it. Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Do you know, I was thinking that. You know how you get flower baskets, yeah, that hang? Now we've
Yeah.
got hanging signs. Why can't we have hanging flower pots?
Oh, I would be so happy. I would be so happy. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. But before we go down that rabbit hole, Cat Boss says, what I meant when I was talking about the skulk torch was it takes away light level. Basically what I meant was it could lower the light level by 10 so you could get a torch that makes it pitch black. Sorry for the bad wording layout. It was 3 a.m. and I was bored.
Right.
Why don't you just not have a torch?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, just turn the light off, mate.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Cat Boss. I'm sure there are situations where it would be useful to be able to like block out light from certain areas. I'm sure that would be great. But generally speaking, unless it's daylight, you can either put a roof on it or you can put blocks in the way of the light or something. There's ways of doing it, but I'm sure there must be occasions where being able to have a block that literally absorbs the light would be cool. But you know, we got tinted glass that does that now.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of don't need it. Just take the light away and wait for nighttime, mate. Okay, Purple says, "Hey guys, it's Purple. I made sure to pay attention to this podcast, and I noticed you said that mobs now no longer spawn in ancient cities until next update." Thanks, Purple, for reiterating what we said in the podcast. I'm glad you're paying attention. Good.
Hi,
Next week's test is
Purple.
going to be a curveball.
Oh, Vamplex
And it's not going to be multiple choice. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow. Getting tough here. Vamplex says, me again. Love listening to your podcast before I go to sleep on my Alexa. It gets
You
me
sleep on
hyped.
your Alexa?
I
That's
knew
dangerous, bro.
I knew you
I've
were
not
going
heard
to
of
say
fires.
that.
Jeez,
Oh my
stop
goodness.
sleeping on your Alexa.
Yeah, it's not a smart move. Gets me hyped to play Minecraft the next morning. All of you are amazing, and I just wanted to say thank you for being better at podcasts than the Spawn Chunks.
Wow. Woof. Woof.
Shots
Speaking
fired.
of Jessiie B,
What?
I don't know if you're aware, but I know you're aware, but I'm going to say that I don't know if you're aware just to make it sound interesting.
Okay, yes.
It was brought to my attention that our podcast, out of almost 3 million other podcasts, is ranked in the top 3%.
That is pretty stinking cool. Not even
Yeah.
gonna lie. That is awesome.
And I checked out the Spawn Chunks website and I found out what rank they are.
Like 1%?
They're in the top 0.05%, so the top 0.5%.
Yeah.
So they're doing really good.
They're doing really good.
But we're not far off.
No, that's pretty. I'm stoked. I'm
Yeah, only
genuinely
2.5%
super happy.
behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And do you know the other thing, Jessiie B, that I found quite interesting?
What?
Someone also sent me a link for it was a website. It was one of these like we rate podcast websites, and it was last year's, and it was the top, the best British comedy podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had this podcast featured. Okay.
Oh wow!
We were number 2.
How? Wow! All right.
Yeah, it was based on before you and Slack came along, we made it the Minecraft Update podcast. It was the Foxy Talks one where I just used to ramble on and rant about the Minecraft changes all the time. But I've just got to say that comedy podcasts in the UK must be quite lacking. If me rambling on and ranting about Minecraft is enough to make number 2 comedy podcast in the UK. So I was happy with that.
That's amazing.
So there you go. So yeah, we're not better than the Spawn Chunks, but we're getting there. We're working on it.
I'm excited.
Who's next? Was it me or you?
Mm-hmm. It's you.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Giga Chad. Oh, I missed the D off that one. Giga Chad says, love the podcast very much. I love to listen to it while I work out. I went from fat to 6-pack and I did it all while listening to you. Thanks, Giga Chad. Amazing. Not only are we the funniest podcast almost in the UK and in the top 3% of all podcasts, but we also make you have a 6-pack. This is the healthy podcast. This podcast makes people fitter. I'm amazed. This is excellent news.
That's so good.
Share this with your friends. If you got friends and you're thinking, Christmas is coming, you're gonna put on a bit of weight, mate. Maybe you could listen to the Minecraft Update podcast and get a 6-pack instead.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah. I'm down. I'm gonna start listening to it when I work out.
I'm gonna start listening to it as well, I think. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Mike says, love the show. The chemistry is amazing and your sense of humor works so well together. It's great to hear things from Bedrock perspective. For example, the camel is broken on Bedrock, but all the Java content creators love it. Maybe some Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie collabs on season 5. Keep up the great work. And when you miss a podcast, you ruin my week. No pressure.
We're sorry, Mike. The thing is, last week we literally were recording episode 1 on the Tuesday when we would normally do the podcast.
Yeah.
So it was like, we either start TB season 5 or we do the podcast, and we chose TB season 5. So we're sorry. We'll try and be better. It's not not often we miss a week. I know we have done a few, but it's not like we're pretty much on it. Mm-hmm. I think.
I would say so. I think that we've done really well, considering we're in 3 completely different time zones and we're busy people. I'm impressed.
And we all, let's be honest, we all, generally speaking, have a lot going on in our personal lives as well. It's not, you're busy with, husband, kids and jobs and houses and things. Slack's got all of his things going on. I've got crazy stuff coming out the wazoo. So, yeah, I think we do well. So I'm sorry to miss weeks, but, life happens and we do our best.
Agreed.
Okay. Tyler B. Tyler's back, Jessiie B.
All right.
I think that's what the B stands for.
I think so. Tyler back.
Tyler back. Apologies for my last email being a very long book. Now, you haven't heard his last email because I didn't include it. Tyler sent us a lot of emails this week, and some of them were quite long, but I haven't included them because they didn't seem overly relevant, and they were going over things that I thought were best probably not talked about on the podcast. But That's by the by. So Tyler says, apologies for my last email being a very long book. I wanted to say what originally drew me to this podcast was actually, believe it or not, Foxy's voice. I listened to Foxy's podcast before it came what it is now, when it was number 2 in the UK for comedy. I actually like Foxy's voice better than the Spawn Chunks, all joking aside. Wow. This next bit goes to Slack and Jessiie, unless it's Jenny or Jelly. I can't be sure nowadays. Falling asleep during the feedback, huh? Leaving it all to Foxy to read. I think Foxy deserves a break. Well, we've just promised Mike that we won't have a break. Okay, so let's not do that. One last thing, and this goes out to Purple if you hear this. Not to say I don't like Java and I'm not here to bash you, but this is a Bedrock-centered podcast. If you would like to nerd out with Java stuff, I'd love to, if possible, as I'm a die-hard Java player. Anyways, thank you so much, Foxy, Slack and Jessiie, for working very hard, getting up early and putting the podcast together. I've never watched Minecraft live, but by the sounds of it, I would prefer to listen to this. Thank you for the things you do to put this all together for your listeners. Love the laughs and jokes you made. I die laughing every time. Keep up the fantastic work.
Aww.
Okay, that's absolutely lovely, Tyler. But this, I guess, in a way, it is a Bedrick-centered... Bedrick?
Bedrock.
Sounds like Baldrick from... Okay. It is kind of a Bedrock-centered podcast, but that's only because that's where we generally play. But I don't want this to be just about Bedrock Edition. I want this to be a Minecraft podcast. So please feel welcome if you're a Java player and you want to talk about Java stuff, then please do ask us for things. And the wish list isn't just stuff we want on Bedrock Edition. It's stuff we want in Minecraft. And the Bugdate isn't just for stuff that bugs us on Bedrock Edition. It's stuff that bugs us in Minecraft. So it comes across as Bedrock centered because that's where most of our experience is. But yeah, generally speaking, when we do the news, we're going through the Bedrock change logs rather than the snapshots. But I have included the snapshots this week. I'm just not going to go into so much detail on them because that other podcast goes into those details.
Yeah.
So you don't need us to. So yeah. Thank you, Tyler. But yeah, and everybody welcome here.
Agreed.
And that is the end of today's feedback. And it was wonderful feedback. And if you would like to send us wonderful feedback, then you can. You can send us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com and put feedback in your subject line so we know it's feedback. Or you can fill out our handy form that's on the website. Or you can join. Did you know, Jessie, we've got a Discord?
Yeah, you can join it too. I think we post the link.
Yeah, link is in the show notes. It's on the website. It's it's everywhere. You can't miss it. So yeah, feel free to join that. In fact, join that anyway, regardless of if you're sending this feedback, because it's nice to see you all in there, and it's easier for me to get the feedback. Okay, it's enough of feedback. We're hurtling into the news at high speed, Jessiie B. And this week we have many news, and it is pretty much all change logs. So feel free to go away and come back again in about an hour. Jeez. We had the stable release of Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.19.41, which had fixes in it. And that's about it. The biggest thing was in 1.19.40 when that released, touch control players couldn't scroll through the crafting menus or chest inventories, so they kind of fixed that, and there's a few other things they fixed as well, but that was the main thing. Then we got Minecraft Bedrock Preview 1.19.50.22, and I've written it totally wrong on our thingy, but it doesn't matter.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I just make some quick changes. There we go.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
This one has got lots to do with camels. Camels, the dash has now influenced by the speed and jump boost effect. So if your camel has the speed boost or the jump boost effect, its dash will be longer and higher. They will also continue to dash until they come into contact with ground or water. So if you dash off the edge of a cliff, you will dash a long way until you go in the water. At which point, you will then be thrown off your camel, because in 1.19.50.23 you can't ride camels in deep water. So don't jump off a cliff.
So don't jump off a cliff. Yeah.
The good news, though, if you do jump off a cliff and not hit the water and hit the ground and your camel takes damage, it will slowly heal over time like the allays, which to me feels a bit lazy. Why not give it a food? Why not give it a food to heal it?
Yeah, that's I'm trying to think, like, what would you like, wheat? Like what do camels eat?
You breed it with cactus, can't you heal it with cactus?
I didn't even know you bred it with cactus. Okay, yeah. So why wouldn't that help heal it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
You would think, like, okay, if it's not at full health, it heals it, but then if it's at full health, it goes into breeding, yeah?
Yeah. Isn't that the way most stuff works? Like, isn't that how it works with, like, pigs and cows and all of that stuff? You feed it?
No, you can't heal pigs and cows and stuff.
I thought you could.
Only with healing potions. You can heal your dog, and I think you might be able to heal cats as well, but I don't think you can heal other animals. So, it's like villagers. You can't heal a villager. You try and feed in a villager a piece of cactus all you want, and it's just not going to get any better. So, I that would make more sense to me. It just feels lazy that they heal over time. I just think it's a very cop-out way of doing it.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Why, bro? Why? I mean, if you'd fed it and then it's got natural regeneration like the player does, and it heals slowly over time after it's been fed, great. But just for it to naturally do it just doesn't make sense.
No, I wonder if their spawn rates are going to be really low or something, and that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I would assume that they're otherwise. Yeah, I can't. I think they're going to be a relatively rare mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can breed them, so yeah, I suppose you can heal. You know, you can duplicate a laser as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What's your camel doing? Take all this damage. Stop jumping off cliffs with camels, guys. Don't do it. Okay. The camel's walk animation has also been changed, which I think I preferred the old one, to be honest, but it's okay. It's kind of got a little bit of the Iron Golem swagger going on with it now, which is interesting. That's enough for camels right now.
Okay.
If you, as a player, are stuck inside of a block or a wall, you will now be pushed to the nearest open area, which is kind of handy because, ender pearling often goes wrong and you end up inside a block. Yep. So that's a good thing. And that also might mean if it does that for mobs as well as players, which sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, that might be helpful for getting things to go in different places for farms and stuff like that. So that's good. Good news for lily pads, Jessiie B.
Okay. What about my lily pads?
You can now collect them by riding around in a boat like you can in Java Edition. They will pop and break when run into by a boat.
Yay! I actually love that. That genuinely, I'm okay with that with that parody.
Yep. Lily pads are no longer made of vibranium. They will break.
Love it.
Couple of experimental features have been released as well, and this is more to do with the custom blocks. So custom block features were part of the Holiday Creator Features thing, and they came out of experimental, or parts of them came out of experimental with the release of 1.19.40. Bear in mind, this is the 1.19.50 previews we're talking about, so they're not out of experimental yet, these other bits. But when they came out of experimental, the block geometry, so the ability to have different size blocks, and the material instances, which is the ability to have different faces of that block have a different texture, they came out of experimental. But if you made a smaller or bigger block than a normal size block, then its collision box was still a normal block size, which seemed odd to me that they didn't bring that out of experimental at the same time.
Yeah.
So they've now done that. And they've also brought out the block crafting table feature, which allows you to actually say this is a furnace, or this is a crafting table, or this is this type of block as well. So you can create custom crafting tables and stuff like that. And that will all be out of experimental. They still haven't released the ability to interact with blocks, run events on blocks, or have different, I can't remember what they call them now, but basically different variations of the same block within the same block file. All of that's still locked behind their experimental. So basically anything fun you can do with a new block is still in experimental. And even stuff like having rotatable blocks like logs and furnaces and things, when you place them, they face a different direction, or you click them in a certain place. That's all still way behind experimental. So they're very, very basic still, but it is coming, which is nice.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
And that's about it for that preview. There's a whole bunch more in there. There's loads of stuff about touch controls and vanilla parity and all sorts of good stuff in there. But I'm going to skip through it because I don't particularly find it interesting. But you might. So the changelog will be linked in the description below. The next preview that came along was 1.19.50.23, Jessiie. Yay. And this is the one where you can't ride camels in deep water.
Oh, okay.
Which during Minecraft Live, they made a big stink about the fact that the camel wasn't a replacement for the horse because and one of the things they said very specifically was that, obviously horses can't travel over water. Yeah. So the camel's going to be like a good alternative for a land animal that you can cross rivers with and this, that, and the other, and it's got a dash. I get that it might be able to dash over a very small amount of water or small river, but if your camel just throws you off like a horse does in a river, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So, yeah, don't understand that one. But there we go. I'm not Mojang, so I don't have to.
It's true.
Yeah. Good news, Jessiie B.
Yes.
Camels can now go over 1.5 blocks without even jumping. They'll just naturally pathfind over 1.5 blocks now.
Wow, it's better than not being able to go up 1 block.
Yeah, right. I haven't seen it working. Let's not get carried away.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
But apparently. And really good news, Jessiie B, and I know this has affected you a lot, and you'll be very glad to know that boats and chess boats will no longer TP to 000 when you push them by a piston.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that is gone.
Yeah, I've rejoiced. I actually had a little party about that one at home, all on my own, with me and Nelly, a little party outside on party blowers. When I blew the party blower, it scared her and she ran out, so I was all on my own.
That makes sense.
I kind of regret it, really. And do you know what? It sent off all the skulk sensors and all my defences went off. Fired arrows everywhere. It was a nightmare.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. One good piece of news that genuinely will hopefully affect all of us is that they have reduced hopper server lag. The items going in and out of hoppers on servers has been optimized to reduce lag. So that's good news. That
makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I play on a server with all of the redstoners that exist in existence. And so super, super happy about that.
Yeah. And the new execute command is coming out of experimental too. So if you are making packs or add-ons or doing anything with functions or commands or command blocks, then after 1.19.50, you will have to use the new execute commands. And I started to have a little panic about this because a lot of my add-ons use the old execute command. And I thought, am I really going to have to go through every single add-on and update it? Well, good news, Jessiie B. I don't have to.
Woo!
No, all you have to do is set in your pack that it is for 1.19.40 and not for 1.19.50, and you'll still be able to play it in 1.19.50, but it will use the old experimental stuff. So this
is amazing.
Yes, whether or not it works or not is a different story, but that's how it's supposed to work. So I've got my little fingers crossed that I don't have to spend 3 weeks going through every single line of code in every single one of my packs to make everything work again. Because that would be a nightmare. Okay. The next snapshot preview thing is Minecraft Java Snapshot. Java Edition? What? 22W43A, and we are going to skim through these because there is a lot. There's an awful lot of stuff, but there's some basic stuff that we'll talk about. So they've had all the camel stuff done as well in there. They've been going through the creative inventory, and they've spent a lot of time backwards and forwards in with the community over this, and lots of reiterations. They're basically reorganizing all of the blocks and items to make them make more sense when you're in the creative inventory, to make it easy to find them. So they've added more tabs so that you can find, well, the items are grouped by a more appropriate means, and they've even color coordinated things. So it just looks a lot better, and it looks like it's much easier to find things in there as well. So that's nice.
That's awesome.
They have added draft chat reporting, that dreaded chat reporting that everybody hates. Now you can write one and then not finish it, and then you can go back to it later. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always a fan of being able to draft things, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, because if you do something in the heat of the moment, it's always a good idea to save it and then come back to it later when you're in a better frame of mind. And you might find that you want to delete that draft or amend it before you actually send it off, because we often convince ourselves when we're angry or upset or something's bothered us that things are worse than they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never do that, honest.
No. I'm really bad at that when I'm like emotional. I'm like, oof, I'm heated. And then I'm like, no, this is the worst thing ever. And then I have to go back and I'm like, really? Calm down. You're fine.
Yeah. And then you do the old Hagrid. I shouldn't have said that.
I should not have said that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is a good thing. And then in that snapshot, there were about 3 million bug fixes, which we're not going to go over. So if you want to see these snapshot changelogs, they are all linked in the show notes, so you can absolutely do that. And there is one more final snapshot, Jessiie B, for Java Edition, which was snapshot 22W44A. And wowee, this is a big one. Are you ready for this? Because this has got stuff in it that makes me cry.
Uh-oh, okay.
Bamboo mosaic you can use as a fuel. That one doesn't make me cry. I don't really care about that, but I thought I'd add it because it's quite important. This one makes me cry a bit, and that's that chiseled bookshelves now work with hoppers. You can hopper books in, and you can hopper books out.
Why sad?
No, cry in a good way.
Oh, cry in a good way. Okay. I was like, why would that be a bad thing? Okay,
well,
good.
It's because it's not on Bedrock Edition, I guess. But
fair.
And it also kind of means potentially that we're never ever going to get the ability to just click a certain block in a certain place and create multi-textured bookcases, which is sad. That is sad.
Yeah, that is sad, actually. That one I'm not a fan of.
No. If they could do both, great. But I feel like if they're going down this route, that's like there's a different path they've gone down. They've forked off the road and they've gone this way. They've done what? No, I said fork off the road and they've gone this way and instead of that way. So, yeah. Mob spawners got some parity on Java Edition with Bedrock. They've changed mob spawners. So before on Java Edition, if you got a mob spawner, which you'd have to get with commands, which you can now get from the creative inventory, like you can on Bedrock Edition, you placed it, it would always have a pig in it, which meant when you placed it, before you put a different spawn egg in it, you'd end up with a bunch of pigs that you got to then go and kill. Now they will be blank, just like they are on Bedrock Edition, and they've added more spawn eggs for everything. They've even, and Bedrock Edition doesn't have this, they've even got spawn eggs for the Ender Dragon, Iron Golems, Snow Golems, and the Wither.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can have Wither cage spawners, Wither spawners, and it's just crazy. So, Ender Dragon spawner. Maybe not, bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. From a like making data packs, mods, and things like that point of view, that's a really useful thing to be able to have. But not all that useful in vanilla or survival, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Now comes the bit that makes me cry with happiness that things are happening with it, but also I know that this isn't going to come to Bedrock Edition.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know, but I feel like it's not going to come to Bedrock Edition because these are the sorts of things that Java Edition has got before, like percentage player sleeping, that we just don't get on Bedrock Edition, and these would be amazing. In fact, these have been on the wish list, Jessie. You know when I promised they would go into Minecraft? They put them in the wrong version.
Oh, no.
Put them in Java Edition. Okay, so one new game role is called Block Explosion Drop Decay. So this is, you know how for a long time they were fighting, the players was like, we want TNT to drop all the blocks. Yeah, when it breaks something. And they added that, but now they've added a toggle, so you can actually turn that on and off. So if you have it on true, then it will be like old TNT or like Bedrock TNT, and it won't drop all the blocks. And if you have it on false, it will drop them all, which is great. They've also added one for mob explosion drop delay, which does the same thing for creeper explosions. So they can toggle on the ability for creepers to drop every single block that they break, which I want.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yes, it would. They also have a game rule called snow accumulation height, which means that they can set how much snow will settle after it's snowed from 0, so you don't get any new snow, which would be nice sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
All the way up to like a full block. But you will never, ever get more than like a full block. So you can say, I only want one snow layer to fall when there's been a snowfall. And once that's fallen, you won't get any more snow, which is, I think that's great. I think that's a really nice tweak because having lived around mountains all last season, it was a bit of a nightmare seeing, trying to go up it and all of a sudden there's just millions of new snow everywhere. You know how when you get a couple of buckets of water and you make an infinite water source, you can now have a game rule that turns that off so you can't get infinite water sources.
Why would anyone do that? Don't do that.
It could be an interesting challenge.
No, that would be a dislike.
Well, on the flip side of that, Jessie, they now have a game rule to make it so that lava will generate a lava source.
What?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Imagine, when you go to the nether and you go stealing the lava and it all looks gross. Imagine it didn't look gross anymore.
That would be so nice.
Yeah. Okay, and the last new game rule they've got is called Global Sound Events, and this is on and offable. So basically, there are certain events in the game that happen, such as a wither being spawned, going through the end portal, the dragon being killed. That doesn't matter where you are in the world. If that happens, even if you're not involved with it, you'll hear it. Doesn't matter what dimension or where you are, you'll hear that. And you can turn that off and on, off or on, so you can make it so it'll only play that sound locally or so that everybody can hear it. So just a bit of a quality of life fix for that one. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm very, very, very jealous of Java Edition right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they are all amazing. And they've also had a million more bug fixes as well, but we're not going to go into those. Again, if you would like to see those, the changelog is in the description below. Our final news topic, Jessie, I know absolutely nothing about, but it is all that Mojang have been talking about for about a week and a half. Are you aware of something called Love Tropics?
No, never heard of that.
You've never heard of it?
No.
Well, I mean, I've at least heard of it.
No, I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so it's basically a 48-hour charity live stream that Mojang do. And a lot of the developers stream themselves, and they feature other streamers and groups as well. And this year, they actually had Empire's SMP streaming in their final slot. And as a group, over the 48 hours, they have raised $24,324, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what it was raised for. I did go to the website, but I wasn't sure if it was a sponsor or the charity that was advertised. But it was basically something to do with, like, seagrass, which I know sounds odd, but it was something to do with seagrass in tropical places is dying out, and it's really important. So I think that it's going towards like helping conservation that problem. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was the charity the money's going to, but it wasn't very specific. And I think the information on the Love Tropics website is quite old as well, because it does say that our Twitch and Mixer streamers and obviously nobody uses Mixer anymore because it don't exist. But yeah, it's a good thing. And I know obviously the Hermitcraft guys did a big old charity live stream as well recently as well.
Wow,
but again, and they raised, was it like, am I right in saying 400,000 something? Or was it no?
The last I saw, it was over 400,000. I don't know what the final total was, but it was like 400 something thousand, and I was like, holy cow, that's crazy. They raised over 20K before they even started, before their stream started. It was really impressive.
This event managed to raise over $400,000 in just a few hours. Yeah, so absolutely crazy. I've no idea what charities that's going to be going to or anything like that, but it's going fantastic.
To a charity that provides gaming stuff for sick kids in hospitals.
Wow. Yeah,
it's really, really cool. Gamers Outreach. They Scar said they raised $420,000 at the end, by the end of the event, the 4-hour event.
Well, that is mighty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just like, oh, good job, guys, well done. That, I mean, that's nearly $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. So that doesn't, just goes to show you how much pull and sway the Hermitcraft people have, but just how generous people are. So that's incredible. Well done. Absolutely. Hats off to you. Fantastic. And what I find really interesting about that, I know it sounds like it's for a better cause than the Love Tropics one, depending on your sway, helping kids that are poorly seems on face value like a nicer thing than planting some seagrass. But the $400,000 plus versus $25,000 plus dollars, Hermitcraft raised $30,000 before the stream had even started, over however long it went for, and Love Tropics did 48 hours and didn't even reach their $25,000 goal. But it's still a lot of money. It's still great. But that means Hermitcraft is bigger than Mojang.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it that way, they
substantially,
by quite a bit. It's really impressive. It's amazing what the Minecraft community can do, but even in comparison, just the Hermitcraft community, they're just miles above it. It's really, really cool to see.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. So well done. And we're not putting either of those down. We are massively bigging both of those up. But just to put it into perspective, Jessie, that means Hermitcraft are 16 times bigger than Mojang.
Wow.
Just saying. Okay, that is enough of the news. It is time to head into the bug date and find out what's bugging you. Okay, Jessie, what is bugging you this week?
I actually haven't run into any bugs so far. It's
Fired, get out.
Oh, wait, no. The server crashing a lot
Constantly.
has been really annoying. I forgot about that. That's a bug, right? Server crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. That's bugging me.
Yep. Yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying.
Do we know why it's doing it so much? Because it's happening quite a bit.
No.
Like, it's a lot.
No, the crash reports are totally useless. There's no
great.
information in there at all. It's not even the same ones we used to get when it was the portal one, although it seems to happen when people are going through portals. But it's
different.
1.19.40 and 41, the hotfix, are both a total mess, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It is totally broken on the outside, which is odd because generally speaking, in game, everything's working okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the program itself is it's just totally ruined. Oh man, okay, where do I start? So server crashes, obviously, really annoying. I don't know whether you've encountered this or not, and I don't know whether other people have, and I would like people to tell me if they have. I haven't looked for a bug report on it because I'm lazy, but every single time I load up Minecraft, I have to load it up 3 times.
Oh.
The first time I load it up, it will immediately crash. The second time I load it up, if I go into settings and click on global resources, it will immediately crash. And the third time I load it up, I can go into settings, go to global resources, which have all been reset, and put my global resources back on. If I don't enable any global resources, and basically that's my brightness pack, my no nether fog pack, and my making netherite not look like netherite pack.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't enable any of those, it works absolutely fine. No crashes at all. But if I have any global resource on, I have to load Minecraft up 3 times before I can play the game.
Oh, that's weird.
Every other time I try to join the server, it crashes, just hard crash, and I have to start again, which, bear in mind, that means I have to load Minecraft up 3 times every other time I try and get on the server, which is driving me insane. And then I haven't experienced this, but I've seen a whole bunch of bug reports of the UI. The UI is just totally broken for people, like as if it's gone through a shredder. It's so weird. Like buttons. Just imagine Wolverine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Took his claws out and just went slashed across your screen a few times diagonally and left big old chunks in it. And that's what it looks like on a lot of people's devices.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not good. And then...
Uh-oh.
If you enable the experimental features, the sorts of features that we want on our server, like holiday creator features, even without adding in any add-ons or packs to a world, and you load up that world, if you have the content log GUI enabled, so you see basically it's an error log that comes on your screen, you get several pages worth of errors that are vanilla errors that never used to be there. Because of things have changed in the back end, things to do with tags and all sorts of crazy errors just come up. Pages and pages and pages of them that just totally spams your screen for about 30 seconds. And then I mentioned the educational toggle mode. If you put that on and don't have any packs or anything enabled, it comes up with 3 errors to do with photos and photo books and things like that. It's a total mess. It's horrendous. It needs fixing. I can't believe that they released it. They must be getting, because they track crashes on servers and in clients, they must be getting tons and tons and tons of crash reports coming through because it's a nightmare. It's a total nightmare.
That's, wow. Like I knew it was buggy, but I didn't know it was that bad. That's miserable.
I thought maybe it's because I used my version switcher. So I totally uninstalled everything, deleted Minecraft altogether, reinstalled it all. Exactly the same problem. So, yeah, Minecraft broke. It's fine in game. Once you get in game, it's great. Works perfectly. No problems at all. It's just getting in game. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if anyone else is experiencing any of those, please do let us know because I feel no one else has told me they have, and it feels very much like it's just me at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't had the resource one be an issue. I always have Bedrock tweaks one of those packs on. So I haven't had that issue. That would absolutely do my head in. So
yeah,
I empathize there.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The other issue that we've discovered on Truly Bedrock as of yesterday, when we went to spoilers, do an Ender Dragon fight, was when we went to the end area where you fight the dragon, there was only one crystal.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the crystals were all gone, and even the obsidian that was underneath them was gone. So it's not even like somebody snuck through before we all did and went and got rid of them. They were just gone. So that's weird. Yeah. And the loot in the end cities as well. So end city loot, normally when you go through 3 or 4 different large end cities, you end up with shulkers worth of armor and tools and shovels and swords and all sorts of stuff. And not that I want to give any spoilers away, but I personally went through 3 large end cities, top to bottom, deleted everything, took all of the stuff. Out of that, I got 1 iron sword and 1 pickaxe. They was the only tools and weapons I got. I did get some armor. I got a lot of diamonds. I got a lot of gold. I only got 5 beetroot seeds, whereas normally I'm throwing them away because I'm getting that many. It was like the loot tables were missing half the stuff they should have had. It was really bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely had the issue with the tools. Like, I don't think I found hardly any. But you're right. I found a lot more diamonds and stuff than I think I typically find.
I came back with like 16 diamonds, which is a lot more than normal. And over a stack of gold, like ingots, which is crazy. But yeah, normally, I mean, I've always gone with Slack like early on, and I go there to get a looting sword. And you can guarantee you go and get a looting sword, and you can guarantee you'll get a silk touch mending pickaxe, and I did get a silk touch mending pickaxe, but it was an iron one, and that was the only pickaxe I found. Literally. And normally you can open a shop selling those things, selling
early game loot. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think I only got like 3 pieces of maybe a little bit more, maybe 5 or 6 pieces of diamond armor. So it was just really, really lacking compared to normal. It was very odd. But the chests were there, and the chests had things in. It's not like the chests were empty. They just didn't have many things in. It was like someone had been round them all before and just took out the good stuff and left the rubbish.
Left everything.
But why would they leave diamonds and iron and emeralds and gold?
Yeah, no one's leaving that stuff. That's crazy.
So, yeah, really, really bizarre. Really, really weird. And that's just us, and we've been talking about it for goodness knows who long. Let's find out what's been bugging the community, starting with NSPG 911, listening from episode 15. I'm too late, I think. Hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. Love the pod. Keep up the work. The 1.19.40 update added too many bugs to the Pocket UI in the inventory and completely breaks. Any UI pack is also broken because it's too outdated, even if it was released for 1.19.31. A fun bug was that you can sprint while sneaking when you have any level of swift sneaks, best if it's level 3. Pretty fun in my opinion. And while the second bug is pretty funny, yet amazing like the rideable things that are fast as Flash, but the first bug is still very annoying to play, and I don't think I'm going to play until they change it. People should now end with quotes instead of death messages that other podcast makes us end with. You can sign off your comments and your feedback however you want. We don't have anything in place. I do like that the spawn chunks do that. It is fun. That they make you have like a death message at the end of your comment, but I don't want us to copy that.
Yeah.
I've never asked anybody to do that, but something fun like that would be kind of cool. But just sign off however you want, or don't just put your name, or don't even do anything. But yeah, UI. I just mentioned that UI stuff totally broken. I didn't know about Swift Sneak making you able to actually sprint while sneaking though, so that's interesting. Okay.
Robo Rufus 7 says, hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. So this isn't a bug in the game. This is a bug with the resource pack, behavior pack template download by the devs from GitHub. So for the behavior pack template, the entire blocks folder is missing. And with the resource pack, the ender chest, top, bottom, and side textures change the ender chest when it's in your inventory. But as soon as you place it down, it reverts back to the normal texture. And also some of the entities have texture just in the entity's folder and their own folder. And if you change the wrong one, nothing happens. I spent hours trying to figure out why my iron golem wasn't changing its texture. Sorry for the book, but thanks for the great pod, Rufus.
I can help with this, Jessiie B.
Okay. Answers.
Okay. The block folder is not missing. It doesn't exist. Minecraft Bedrock Edition blocks are not public access. There are no access to the blocks. If you want to make custom blocks, you need to read the documentation that exists online for how to do that, which is annoying because I'd really like them to release the blocks so that I could fiddle with them all, but they don't. The ender chests and normal chests and trap chests used to, on Java Edition at Christmas time, have the Christmas present textures, but they were hard-coded in the game. I would assume that ender chests, and trap chests on Bedrock are also hard-coded in the game because, even though the textures exist, they have a slightly different block size. So I would imagine that's probably what's causing that issue there. In terms of the entities and texture folders, there are different variants. Because Bedrock Edition has to support old content, particularly for the marketplace, the reason the file size of Bedrock Edition download goes up so drastically each update is because every single time they make a change to an entity or an animation, they have to store all the old ones. So if you go into the actual game files that you download when you download Minecraft, there is a behavior pack and a resource pack containing all of the changes they've made for every single version that's come out, even the minor versions. So when you're going to change textures on something, you need to make sure you're changing the textures for the most current version of that entity. And sometimes there are 3 or 4 different versions of an entity because they've updated it, and they've sometimes changed it so drastically they've given it its own name. For instance, villagers. The original villagers still exist in the game. They're just known as villager. The villagers we have in Minecraft are known as villager v2. And depending on what base game version your world is, for instance, my ideas world, which is a flat world, which I've had forever, will depend on what entities and things you get. So in that, I still get the old pigman, even though it's on the most up-to-date version of Minecraft. If I spawn in a pigman, it looks like the old one. And it's just a way that they can be backwards compatible. So you just need to know what you're doing. There's no bugs in those packs. You just need to know what you're looking for. It's just practice, and they don't make it easy.
I'm learning stuff new every day.
There you go, Jessiie. It's handy being part of this podcast.
I
You'll
know,
learn
right?
so much stuff that's totally useless to you. Okay, the Tim EC 1983 says, "Hi Foxy, Slack and Jessiie, and the Discord." I'm not sure if this is a bug or me not noticing something. However, when playing on my Nodecraft hosted server, the RAM usage on the server progressively gets higher and higher until reaching 100%, where it unsurprisingly becomes so laggy I have to log out. The CPU spikes as well, but goes back down. After logging out, the RAM reduces significantly. However, I cannot relog without restarting the server. The world size is only 270 megabytes, and I have experienced this in areas I would consider more lag-prone, but also in completely empty terrain and also going through nether portals. Is this a known bug? Does anyone else have a problem like this? I couldn't see anything specifically like this on the Jira. Thanks for all your great work. Jessiie?
Yes.
You know the solution to the problem?
No.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I was like, no.
No, RAM... It's a weird one. If you've got lots of packs and add-ons on your server, that can really affect the RAM. Like even our mini blocks, our new mini blocks, even though they're lag-free for the client, like they don't cause any frames per second drop, they actually add about 400 megabytes of RAM usage to the server and your client because it has to load all of those blocks in before it does it. And I don't know why it's so high, because realistically there's only about 30 megabytes worth of data that it's loading, but I don't know how it does it, but when you add that to your world or your server, the RAM usage goes up quite significantly. Moving around the world can also, when you're loading in more entities and more chunks and things like that, that can accumulate, and it doesn't always disappear again. And we've noted a few times wherever you log into the world, whatever entities around you, they stay loaded in RAM regardless of where you go on the server. So it's not impossible that with this new update they are not basically getting rid of the stuff that you're moving away from. So the more you move around, the more stuff's loading in. And I have noticed since we started season 5, the RAM usage on our server has been shooting up quite heavily. And maybe that's what's triggering our crashes sometimes. I don't know. So yeah, there are issues. It's not Nodecraft. It's just Minecraft. Hopefully they'll fix it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's you next, isn't it?
Yes, it is. JJ1109 says this week's touch control bug is multiple item crafting. Usually, if you want to craft many items with touch controls, i.e. the equivalent of shift-click crafting on a keyboard, you have to touch and hold the crafting output slot, and it would craft multiple items smoothly and evenly. Usually, I do this for a whole stack of items. In 1.19.40, you now tap 3 times in the output slot of the crafting table, and you'll get a whole stack of items. Hello, whole stacks of buttons instead of 3 buttons. Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
The biggest problem with this is that it's not consistent. I can't craft a whole stack of slime blocks doing the same thing, tap 3 times. And now crafting by touch and hold method is extraordinarily slow and clunky compared to 1.19.40. And he's listed the bug report.
Yeah.
That sounds miserable.
If you look at the fixes that the change logs we went through, I didn't mention them all, but there was loads of touch control fixes and stuff. I think they've been doing a lot of changes to touch control inputs and stuff like that, and I think there's a bit of a spaghetti mess going on with that at the moment. So fingers crossed 1.19.50 will help. Or make it even worse. You'll find out. I'm just very, very glad at this moment in time I don't play with touch controls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay, last piece of Bugdate is from Meerkat and says, Hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. I was end raiding when I had an oops. Shot self with max bow, clipped a block I was standing next to, not the intended shulker, and died. Not a problem. However, I dropped out of the game and relogged, but hard hung on attempt to reload the world. I backed up the game, so only lost the end raid progress, but a pain. Great podcast as ever. Yeah. I crashed, like I said, a few times going back into the game since 1.19.40, so it's a thing. I haven't lost anything, though.
That's good. Knock on wood.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We went end raiding, obviously. I logged out when I'd finished in the evening with the view to joining this morning, actually, as we're recording this, to continue. As soon as I logged back in, it crashed. And I was like, no. Not the server, but my client. I was like, no, I'm going to log back in. I'm going to be in the void. But no, I was all right. It was fine. So, whew. Jeez. Right. Okay. That is enough of the bug date. If you've got any bugs or if you want to talk about any of the bugs that we've talked about, then you can leave us some information either on the email, as we've already mentioned, or on the feedback form, or even more conveniently for me, in the Discord. That Discord thing we've got.
Yeah.
And what's really handy there is when you write something in there, other people can see it and they can talk to you about it. So if it's a bug that you're not sure if it's a bug or you're just having problems, someone that's nice might come along and go, no, you're an idiot, mate. Just press this button. And then your solved problem is over. So join the Discord. Put it in there. Okay, Jessie. Moving on from the bug date, from the things we don't want to the things that we do want. Or maybe we don't want. It depends. Is there anything this week that you would like or dislike to be added or removed from Minecraft?
I would like multicolored bookshelves.
Okay. Is that like the bookshelves that you can put your own books in the right order and change them and that sort of stuff?
No, different wood type bookshelves. Ever since seeing the new bookshelf, it's the only thing I can think about. Like, I feel a little bit obsessive at this point. All I keep thinking is, oh, how nice it would be to have dark oak bookshelves, or how nice it would be to have spruce bookshelves. Give me more bookshelves, please. That's what I want.
They've got to do that, surely.
I hope so.
Why would they add a bookshelf that only has one type of wood?
Yeah.
When I don't get it. I mean, Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I think the trim on the new bookshelf is a bit thinner, isn't it, than the one on the old bookshelf. So maybe they're thinking, oh, it's only a small trim, you'll get away with it with whatever wood type. But if you're building with dark oak and then you've got those bookshelves in there, it's going to be
so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm really hoping there's a lot more work to be done on those bookshelves, because as much as they're great, the whole point of Minecraft 1.20 is to enable freedom of expression and creativity. If they're adding blocks in that are pigeonholing you into building with a specific block palette, that's kind of doing the opposite.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Jeez. Okay.
Yours.
For me. Okay, something occurred to me today as I spent several hours traversing the end with no elytra on my own, with a handful of blocks and a pickaxe, digging up endstone to place it, and travelling sometimes gaps that took 3 stacks of endstone to get from one side to the other. My shift key is feeling the pain today, and so's my little finger.
Yeah.
I think it's great that the end items are difficult to get to, and that sense of achievement when you actually get there is fantastic. But it did occur to me that it is broken in the sense that a player that's never played Minecraft before, or a novice player, or somebody that doesn't have nerves of steel like me.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you get to an end island? You kill the dragon, right? And an end portal thing pops up. Okay? You go through that. But then you can often be thousands of blocks away from an end city. So unless you're prepared to kill the dragon several times and hopefully randomly end up somewhere near an end city that's got a ship that you don't have to pill along for, then it's not ideal. So I think there needs to be something, and I don't know what, but something in the game to aid with bridging those gaps. So either that's change the terrain generation in the end so that there are routes through to the end cities from those portal things that you come through, or moving those portal things closer to end cities, or having some way you can bridge from one side to the other easily.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was I don't generally tend to get worked up by games and stuff like that. I'm good at associating this is a game. If something goes wrong, it's fun. But I genuinely, when my hands are still sweaty now from doing it this morning. It's horrible. It's horrible crouching and placing blocks across a 1 block gap when you are literally 3 stacks of blocks across a void. There's no safety net.
No.
Even if you gave me an ender chest so I could put some of my stuff in there, but I still needed to carry an ender chest and a silk touch pickaxe.
Yep.
So that I could put it down and get stuff back out the other side. So I'm still going to lose something. So, it's just, maybe it's just me being a bit of a baby, but I just feel like there should be a more enabling way to get across the end.
What do you think you would like? Like, don't have to be specific, obviously, but like a bridging material. Like, what do you feel?
Well, you can place scaffolding from 1 block facing. You don't have to go up it to place it. You can just sit there at the bottom and place it. Well, what if we had like a bridge block?
Ooh.
And you could stand at the edge of a cliff and you could just click the same bit each time and it would go out horizontally.
That would be kind of cool. I like that.
The fear isn't.
Make it.
Yeah. The fear isn't from falling off. And maybe you could craft it from chorus plants as well. That'd be handy.
Ooh.
The fear isn't from falling off. The fear is that you're on a server, your shift key either lets go because you're using a wireless keyboard, or there's a bit of server lag and the block that you just placed that you're relying on standing on disappears again. That's where the fear comes from. So a bridging block, if that bridge is already there, yes, it's 1 wide, but you can run across 1 wide if you're confident enough, or you can sneak across it if you're not, without that worry of someone's going to log in and there's going to be lag and I'm going to fall to my death.
Yeah.
And it's not my fault. So chorus plants working like bamboo. Maybe it needs something else as well, and maybe that thing is, maybe it's endstone. Maybe we get something from the end and we can make extendable bridges.
I'm totally okay with this idea. I really like the idea. especially if it was something to do with like the end blocks. It would give them another use because no one uses them. So
no, exactly. Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Good. Well, there we go then. Another one for the good ideas bin. Slack's not here to poo-poo that one, so it's sneaking straight in under his nose. Fantastic. Great. All right then, what have our community been wishing for this week? Let's find out with the real deal pick that says, what if the plants grow from the sniffer's ancient seeds point towards the closest ancient city?
Sure. I mean, I don't see a need for it, but I guess...
No.
I guess it would be helpful. Maybe.
If they hadn't tied in ancient city generation with mountain generation, I would say we definitely need something. But I'm a little bit disappointed by that, actually. It's like, the end. If you want an ancient city, it's just under a mountain.
Yep.
Why under a mountain? Make it random and give us an item to find them.
Yeah.
Let it be a plant like this. Sunflowers always point towards the sun, which is that south? Or east, I don't know which direction they point.
I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, they always face one direction.
Yeah, so do that with the seeds, have it point towards the nearest ancient city. That'd be great. Yeah, I'd be up for that if it wasn't for the fact that they've just gone, no, it's easy, mate.
It's under a mountain.
Just go to the top of a mountain and dig down. Yeah, so sorry,
even then, though, right? Most of the mountains, like, you have almost a full way down. They usually have like some crevice that you can just peek down and see. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary with how they've tied the generation of the cities. And I think you're right.
Yeah, sorry, Pickles. If they hadn't done that, then I'd be all over it. But it just seems a little bit pointless at this point.
Agreed. Striker TS says, I know Slack loves the grapple hook and probably wants the infinity enchant available for it. I would like a simple rope you can lower down 16 blocks with a rope and another use for string, maybe a chain option for 32. It feels less likely to kill me with spontaneous damage. Yeah, that would be me. I would just accidentally explode. Like that's what.
Well, you grapple over to something and you're zipping in and just. Maybe. We've got that already, Striker. A bucket of water does that. I know it makes a bit of a mess underneath wherever you are, but I kind of like the idea, but that doesn't feel very Minecrafty.
No, it
to
doesn't.
be fair. And I know a grapple hook doesn't feel very Minecrafty, but it's more Minecrafty in my mind because you've got a crossbow, you've got loyalty tridents which have a string on them, you've got all the things you need for a crossbow already in the game. And I know you can argue, well, you've already got string and rope in the game or leads or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe if you could tie you can put rope on a fence post. Maybe you could tie the other end to yourself and dangle. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I don't think it fits quite.
No. But imagine you're on your floating island that you're building, and you just jump off the side, spin round, do a 180, fire your grapple hook up, and it sticks in the underside, and then you're there free to do the work as you like. Yeah, sounds good to me. Very Minecrafty. A little bit of a dodge roll mid-air. Solved.
Goodness.
King Craven 83 says, as the owner of a 6,000 block long tunnel with minecart tracks all the way down, I wish I could use rockets to propel a minecart.
You know what you could do if Mojang were nice? You could get the furnace minecart in Bedrock.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great. Furnace minecarts.
They took that out of Jama as well, though, didn't they?
Did they? I thought it was still there.
No, I think they took it out a while ago. I loved that because someone actually replied to this message in the Discord, because if you leave messages like this in the Discord under the wish list section, people can chat about it, and they did. And they pointed to a couple of feedback posts, which was for train-like minecarts, where they would all join together and create a train, and propelled or furnace minecarts. And both of those things used to exist. In fact, my first Java Edition world that I recorded on, I had a train. And it worked. If you put a furnace minecart at the front and minecarts behind it that were touching each other, they would all go along like a train, and it was wonderful. But it don't work anymore. They take it away.
That makes me sad.
Yeah. It was apparently very complicated and full of bugs and very laggy, so it was easier to just... Apparently no one used it. I did. I used it a lot. Apparently easier to get rid of it than it was to start again. But not to worry. Okay. Yeah. I would like furnace minecart back in game. I don't think we need to use rockets to propel it. Furnace is fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Daniel or Danil, whichever. I think you should be able to enchant horse armor with Frostwalker so you can take your horse across the sea.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why you can't enchant armor for horses. You at the end of the day, it exists. You've got enchantments. Why not be able to give them fire protection and all that sort of stuff as well? Maybe even thorns. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
On board.
But then I also want dog armor and cat
dog
armor. I want fish armor. We know foxes can wear armor because that's a glitch in Bedrock. You just can't see it. But if you put a resource pack on, you can actually see it, which is kind of cool.
That's
but
amazing.
Yeah, I think animal armor should be able to be enchantable. Absolutely. Yeah. Good ideas, bin Jessiie. Throw it in there quick. Slash not looking.
It's in. Don't worry about it.
Excellent. Good. Okay. M2 Lansky says, what if we could transport villagers through camels? And there were quite a lot of replies to this one in the Discord that made me laugh because some people, I think, comically decided that meant the camel would have to eat the villager and then travel and then deposit the villager at the destination, which I don't think would be probably the best way of dealing with that.
No.
And then someone said, well, obviously the villager would go on the camel's back, which is great. But when you've got a villager in a boat, how do you get the villager out of the boat?
You have to break the boat. Yeah.
So, we would need a new mechanism for breaking the camel without breaking the camel, I think.
Yeah, that's probably... Didn't even think of that. Yep, definitely.
I mean, realistically, the easiest way to do it, in my mind, would be to just click on the camel and take its saddle off, you know?
Yep,
or just click on the camel and the villager pops off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I'd love to see villagers on the back of camels. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would really like that.
I'm into it. I'm up for it.
Agreed. Rotated Owlface says, bats. To make bats useful, have them drop bat eyes, which when eaten give you 10 seconds of night vision. If it seems too OP, maybe add a small chance of nausea for bat. I never want anything with nausea. Don't, no.
No. So this came from my Discord, actually. This was I can't remember which channel it was in now. It might have been, I can't remember. It was on my Discord, and it was in reference to us making, there it is. It was in reference to making dolphins useful. And someone said, what about bats? So you could make bats useful. And I think Rotated Owlface added this. He said, I'm going to add this to the podcast wish list. Instant bad ideas bin fodder I'll warrant straight into the shredder. I have done that. So yes, you're absolutely right, Prof. Straight into the shredder. It would be, I mean, bats, I wouldn't mind if they weren't in the game anymore. They don't add anything. They are literally programmed to fly in your face and get on your nerves, but you hardly ever come across them. Mm-hmm. I can't think of why they need a use. I mean, bat droppings, guano is used a lot around the world for, not just for fertilizer, but for all sorts of things in different places of the world. So maybe that's one of the things that they could add in this, Better Together around the world update that they're doing for 1.20. But, the thought of going around picking up poo doesn't.
Poo, yeah. I was going to say it's not really my ideal task.
No, so perhaps not. Okay. Turtley78 says, hi, podcast crew. Recently I was listening to the Spawn Chunks. Oh, my goodness me. Just because they're in the 0.05%. Don't mean I have to just go on about them all the time. Jeez. Pix does have a really nice voice, almost as good as yours, they said. And their discussion of chiseled bookshelves got me thinking. So basically what the turtle has done here is they've gone to the spawn chunks, they've had a discussion about something, and he's given it to us to rip off from them, I think.
I think so,
What if you could dye books, not enchanted ones, only written or plain, any of the 16 colours, so that when you put them in the chiseled bookshelves, the colour would show on the texture for more customisation? Cheers, Turtley. P.S. I think the bookcases should let you interact with each book individually instead of first in, last out interaction. P.P.S. Sorry for the book shelf. Yes. Yeah, definitely agree with you on the interaction. I don't think dyed books, I mean, that would be kind of cool. Just so you could be like, oh, I know that my mending books are red, and I know that my protection books are blue, or even, you know, I've written this particular thing and it's in a black book, and I've written this particular thing and it's in a green book, and that would be cool. Yeah. I like that idea, actually.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was originally against it. I thought it was too complicated, but now I really want it.
Yeah, I'm all for being able to customize stuff like that. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, good. Another good idea has been. Yep.
Amethyst says, what if Minecraft had glass swords? What if we had a glass sword?
Good idea has been. Move on. Next one. What? No,
wow.
Go on, sorry.
What if we had a glass sword with 1 or 2 durability, and we could hit things with it to inflict a bleeding or maybe poison to keep the game child friendly? Debuff, maybe we could add into the magic update idea and fill them with potions. Thanks for reading. That doesn't feel Minecrafty at all. Like, at all to me.
Let me just get my head around
magic. Yeah.
You make a glass sword, which is effectively hollow, fill it full of potion, hit something with it and it breaks, and they get covered in the potion. Have you heard of splash potions, mate?
Yeah. Yeah.
I make a glass. It just doesn't look sword shaped. Maybe you could retexture glass splash potions to look like glass swords, and then you already got it in the game, Amethyst.
That would be kind of cool. Actually, just retexturing stuff.
Yeah, I no, I'm sorry, it's not a good idea, Ben. I think obviously it's kind of the bleeding thing, maybe not, but I think the whole the premise of it already exists. You just got the wrong textures, that's all. But thank you, good idea. The Loud Neon says, what if there was a second and third player inventory similar to a smartphone home screen? On mobile, you could swipe right or left. On PC, it could just be arrows to click left and right. For consoles, adding 3 dots to above the inventory would allow switching between inventories. Those are all actions we're familiar with and use daily without feeling too cheaty. Please insert some witty sign-off. Thank you, The Loud Neon. What's your thoughts, Jessie?
I don't know. I honestly... I think it's an easy solution to a difficult problem, maybe. If I'm reading it correctly, I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's just more inventory space, isn't it?
Yeah.
This comes back to, again, my issue isn't necessarily the size of the inventory. It is the lack of hotbar.
Yeah.
Too many things for your hotbar. And I think what we said previously about like being able to open a shulker box and without actually putting it on the ground, or access a chest inventory and a shulker box inventory at the same time by holding the shulker box in your hand and opening the chest, those sorts of things would solve more of the moving stuff around in your inventory problems. I don't think having a swipeable home screen style inventory, doesn't matter how many
solve the problem.
Screen. Yeah, because you then, how do you get the items from one screen to another without a lot of pain, particularly on console and PC? Easy enough on a smartphone. You could click and hold on to that icon, swipe with your other hand or swipe with the same hand and move it across like you can on your home screens. But I think that would add a lot of complications. So nice, good thinking, but I don't think it's what we're looking for. I think we pretty much nailed it with what we've said.
Yeah,
to be honest
I mean, we've talked it to death, right? Like inventory is something we have all like broke down and discussed. It's so many points that it just feels like the solution we've come up with is just like, yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, I know. It's exactly what we want. We've talked it so much. We're like, yes, we've ticked all of our boxes now.
Yeah.
Mogang, if you'd just be kind enough to put it in education edition, we'd be really happy. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it.
Okay.
Turtley says, what if there were little checklists for some achievements advancements, such as breeding all the animals 2 by 2 that show you what animals you needed to get and what animals you had already gotten? Turtley died of confusion trying to figure out what animals he had bred already. Ah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a progress bar on some achievements, don't you, when you've got to do various things. But yeah, a bit more like the
detail
going to every single biome or ocean biome or whatever it is achievement. It's like, well, how do I don't know which ones you've recognized that I've gone to.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. 100% would like that. Yeah. Okay. Good idea's been. In it goes. Okay, our last wish list item is from none other than Tyler Back, who says, hello, Foxy, Slack and Jessie. My wish list item this time is more animal breeds. There are several breeds and variants to parrots, cats, a couple pandas. There's 6 types of pandas, actually. Villagers, zombies, skeletons, a couple spiders, fish in general, and lots of tropical fish. But honestly, I would like more in regards to foxes, dogs, and wolves. For me personally, I would love it if they added at least silver and fennec foxes. Silver foxes would be found in roof forests, and fennec foxes would, of course, be found in the desert. It would be perfect for this next 1.20 update. The reason I want those is because fennec fox would be the perfect for this desert update. Just said that. The reason, but not the whole reason, for the silver fox is because I would love it if they could breed with a red fox to get what is called a melanistic fox. They are by far the most beautiful animals I have ever seen. What do you think?
I'm gonna sound like a fuddy-duddy. I don't want any more. I don't need more foxes in other places. They're already everywhere and super annoying when you're trying to build.
That's just his. Don't you tie me in with that menace.
Sorry.
I genuinely can't say I have ever found foxes to be a problem in Minecraft because I never see them.
Really?
How are they causing you problems?
Well, I typically build in like
Tigers, apparently.
Well, yeah, I build in taigas, but also like my shopping area that was on TB. I had Arctic foxes spawning there all the time, and they would get stuck in things, and then just the sound of them dying all the time because the wolves also spawned. It was awful. I genuinely not a huge fan because I hate the sound they make when they die. It's awful, and I don't like that wolves spawn in the same biome because it's just mean. Like why?
Yeah,
it's awful.
Okay, well, I don't mind. No, I don't necessarily need. Oh, geez, words. I don't feel any real need for more variants of foxes. I think 2 is plenty. I do think it would be nice to have a couple of different breeds of dogs.
Me too.
It'd be nice to be able to get a sheep dog that maybe even was good at herding sheep, or a Labrador that was good at fetching stuff. That would be good. But that would come down to. We've got pugs and we've got Yorkshire Terriers and we've got this and we've got that. There's too many to choose from. So I think the generic dog works. And the fact that we can change the colour of its collar is fine. I think when you're looking for this sort of stuff that there isn't a variation for, there's probably an add-on for that. So
definitely.
Yeah. I'm not excited by this enough to say it's a good idea, has been. In fact, I think I'd rather just leave it as it is, to be honest with you. Sorry.
Agreed.
Tyler Back. Jeez. And that is the end of this week's oh my goodness, Jessiie B. That is the end of this week's wish list. If you would like to request something to be in Minecraft, we have been guaranteed by the developers that they're going to add in all of our good ideas bins things eventually. And this is unofficial. They haven't at all, but they have. Yeah, you can leave us some, obviously, as I always say, on the Discord, the email, news@theminecraftupdate.com, or the feedback form. You can choose where you want to do it. And you can also, you don't have to just use those things for feedback, bug dates, and wish lists. You can use those for questions as well. And some people have, Jessiie B.
Ooh.
Yeah. In
we
fact,
like questions.
Dutch says, as a live streamer and video creator that has destroyed about 100 videos worth of content because I couldn't rein in my own personal format, what tips could you give on expediting the video editing process? I like editing a lot, but I can't afford the time or the frequency I would like to produce. Oh, well, that's a good one. Jessiie, what do you think?
Oh, man. So this is one that I struggled with for a long time, and I think just probably recently have gotten into the habit of not being so hard on myself, I guess, because I'm never going to be completely happy with any video that I put out. If we're being completely honest, there's a million things that I could do differently, that I would want to do differently, things that I think could go smoother, or could do this or could do that. And so you have to kind of rein in your expectations, I would say. But as far as expediting video processing, the process, I would say that my biggest tip is record shorter clips. Like get better at what you've recorded, so that you're not spending as much time trying to find the good moments, if that makes sense. Because that's probably one of my biggest issues. Like, I'll have 5 hours worth of footage for a 20-minute video, and I'm like, oh, that's not great.
Yep. Yeah, I am very guilty of that. I do a lot more small clips than I used to, but I'm still end up recording way more than I should. Mm-hmm. My response to this comes from a slightly different angle than Jessie's, in the sense that when you say, how do you expedite the video editing process? Yes, there are ways to speed up editing in terms of learning shortcuts and using different software and changing the way you record. But if you're saying you can't afford the time to edit for the amount of content you want to produce, if you're not putting focus into the editing and you're just producing stuff, then unless it sounds to me like you're just to produce, and this sounds horrible, but it just sounds like you're producing loads of rubbish and you're not bothered about it once you've recorded it. You just want to get it out there for people to see. You're not going to grow an audience, or you're not going to be a big YouTuber or streamer just producing junk. You need to put time and effort into creating a video. You need to be happy with the video from start to finish. And so much of your video comes down to not just planning, but editing. The recording part is relatively inconsequential. Once you've got into the habit of hitting record, saying the thing you want to say and stopping the clip, that's it. That's the easy bit. To make a video good means you need to, if you want to make a good video, you want to grow, you want to be a creator, you don't focus on frequency, which is obviously the bit you enjoy because that's the fun bit, recording, actually playing, we all do. Focus on editing, focus on planning out that video, giving it a beginning. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Where's the adventure going to be? What are you going to build? How are you going to show it? Who are you appealing it to? What's your thumbnail going to look like? Are you already planning the title before you start? Are you going to come up with it before you go along? And make a video that people want to watch, because then they'll come back. And then it doesn't matter if you make one video a week, a month, or every 2 months. If you're making good videos, people will watch them. Look at the slow-mo guys, right? Mm-hmm. Really, really, really well edited videos. In reality, both of the producers are lads. They don't speak brilliantly. They're not eloquent. There's no like planning really in what they actually say. But the focus of the video and the way they structure it and the editing, they put out sometimes videos once every 6 months, and millions of people can't wait for the next one. It's brilliant. So if you genuinely want to be a content creator and share your content, take your focus away from recording and put it into editing and planning. If you just want to play Minecraft, don't worry about being a content creator. Just play Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm not saying you are putting out junk, because I've not watched any of your stuff. I haven't seen anything you've done. But I've seen that a lot before. I want to make all of these videos. But in fact, I did. That was where my head was at the beginning of all this. And now I spend so little time actually playing the game as opposed to all the rest of the stuff I'm doing. Yeah, if you don't care about your thumbnail, no one's going to click on your video. If you don't care about your title, no one's going to click on your video. And then if you get your thumbnail right and your title right, if it's not particularly interesting, or your editing's rubbish, or your quality's bad because you haven't put the time and effort into to make it better, then they're not going to watch much of it. So it's not going to get recommended to so many people. So yeah, unfortunately, editing's a big part.
Takes a lot of time, yeah.
Alternatively, hire an editor.
that too, yeah.
Yeah. If you genuinely don't like editing, or you're not very good at it, but you want to produce content and you want to succeed And it might seem like a very expensive investment to do, but pay for someone to edit your videos for you. And if your videos are good enough, you'll soon be earning that money back again. I say soon, It won't take ages. But you'll eventually get there, maybe. Jeez. Okay. Sorry. Bit of a waffle on that one.
You're fine. Wire Guy says, okay, Foxy, I've bought a laptop, so when's the stone cutter for Woodpack coming out?
I will do that, actually. I've been a bit busy, Wire Guy. So, yeah, I will get on that. TB said no. TB said not allowed that one. But you guys can have it. You're welcome. Softboy says, hey, Foxy, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the new can place function. Would it have been more beneficial for you prior to the release of your mini blocks pack? Also wish to let you know that in absence of Mojang putting any more detail into their changelog, I could and would sit through a lengthy in-depth breakdown of every tiny little detail of the changelog. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to, but I can guarantee at least one view. Yeah, I got to bear in mind that other people listen to this as well. And judging by Jessiie and Slack's already lethargic reaction to the news section, I don't think I could go into a great deal more detail without losing a substantial number of our audience. And, you know, I want to be in a higher percentage than 3%, not lower. Or the other way around.
That's the goal. We got this.
Yeah. The new can place function, I don't think it's new. If it's what I'm thinking about, it's the fact that you can basically tell a block or an item in your, like, it's like when you give yourself or put an item in your inventory, you can say it can only be placed on certain things. It's like, say you're playing an adventure map and you're in adventure mode, but you need the players to be able to place a block. You can basically add a tag onto a block to say you can place this block in these situations. You can place it on here and you place it on there. So that's been around for a very long time. It made absolutely no difference to my mini blocks pack at all, because mini blocks should and can be placed on anything. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm thinking of something different to you, Softboy, but yeah, I don't think it's new unless I'm thinking of something different, and it wouldn't make any difference. So sorry, I'm probably confused.
Fair enough. JJ says, I've noticed a new line in the Bedrock server console when a player connects to the world. It used to say simply that a player had connected, but now I'm seeing that there's a player connected, then about 5 to 10 seconds later, a line that says player spawned. Has it always been like this and there's only just been a notification added to the console? Or has there been a tweak so that the game can recognize when a player is actually in the world now?
I don't know whether behind the scenes it's always been a thing. I would say probably not. I'd say it's a new thing. But it's totally stupid, in my personal opinion. So if when you log into a server, it says player connected as soon as your PC has made a connection to the server. Fair enough. I don't know why you would need it to log that in the console, but it does that. And then it says player spawned when the server recognizes your player is there. But your actual device can be another 20 or 30 seconds before it's even showing on your screen. And I've seen this a lot. Because obviously we've recently updated, I've been watching the console a lot. When I log in, it says that I've logged in, and it takes another 15 seconds before I'm actually in the game. So I think that player spawned shouldn't occur until the player is genuinely able to interact with the world, because this causes, we've talked about it before in Bugdates and stuff like that, it causes no end of problems with when you're trying to make add-ons and maps and stuff like that. You're trying to, you want, when a player joins a game, you want to determine, is that player part of a team? Has it joined the game before? Do you need to give it some attributes? Do you need to put it in a certain place? Does it need to join the other players? Can it do its own thing? And you can't run any functions on it until it's actually physically within the world and the client's loaded. Yet the game thinks it's been there 20 minutes and you're like, so nothing works. So yeah, it's nice that they've added that next stage, but for me, it's totally at the wrong time.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, Whitebush, is it me? I think it is, isn't it? Says, could material instances, wow, these are all very technical questions, Jessiie.
Right?
Yeah. Could material instances be used as a way to have all the different types of bookcases without actually adding all the different blocks into the game? For example, when you make a bookcase out of any type of wood, it currently only makes the oak-looking variant. What if you then held, for example, a birch plank and clicked on the bookcase with it, and then it looked like a birch bookcase? But when broken, would still be the default oak texture, thus not creating any extra blocks. It could even consume the birch planks as a cost. Would this be a possible solution to the inventory glut problem? Thanks for entertaining videos. Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to read that again.
No problem.
Right. So you're saying you craft it out of any wood and then you click on it with wood and it changes to that colour. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I get from it anyway.
I don't like that idea.
No, I don't either.
It doesn't make sense. And do you know what's just occurred to me reading this, Jessie?
What?
I've been banging on about them creating the bookshelves with all the different texture variations for the different woods.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, that's because the existing bookshelves that already are in the game have all the different wood variants, but they don't, do they?
No.
They're only oak.
Yeah, they're only oak.
It's just because I always, all of the maps and stuff I do, I've got those bookcases in all the different wood variants.
Yeah.
So I've just learned, oh my goodness. So yeah, they're probably not going to create it in the different wood types, are they? Because the original ones aren't.
Yeah.
Oh my, wow, catching up slowly. It's only taken 2 podcasts to get there.
No,
oh my goodness.
That's the whole point. We want wood variations finally.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, well, surely they will, because the original bookcases comes in the No, they
don't.
Oh, what a moron. Okay. Technically, Whitebush, yes, your material instances could do that. You could, not at the moment, it'd have to be in experimental, but in experimental, yes, you could have it detect what item you're, in fact, this is how my actual mini blocks work. It detects if you're holding a particular type of item, and if you're holding the item, it changes to a different property. Basically, you can change the property of it, and the different properties can have different texture or material instances. So yes, you could do that. I don't think I would want that for bookcases. I would rather they be individual blocks so that you can see what they look like when you're holding them in your inventory. So they have different names in your inventory. So it just doesn't say bookcase. It actually says dark oak bookcase and spruce bookcase. So building with them would be a lot easier. And I really don't think it would. I don't think adding more things to the creative inventory is a problem.
Yeah.
And I think if you're building with bookcases, it's unlikely that you would have lots of the different variations of the bookcase in your inventory, because likely you're going to be using the bookcase type that you're building with. You know, maybe you have spruce and dark oak ones because they look nice together in a pattern, but you're not going to have all 6 different wood types of bookcases there. I wouldn't have thought. So yeah, I would prefer just separate blocks for those.
I am in agreement.
The other problem with that as well, I'm sorry, Jessie, it just occurred to me. When you break that bookcase again, it's just going to go back to being oak again. So you've lost that wood, and then you place it down again. Yeah, so no, sorry. Not a good idea. This is questions, not ideas. Good point. The question, in answer to the question, yes. Can be done.
There you go.
Okay.
Purple says, hey, it's Purple again. This question is directed at Slack and Foxy. Sorry, Jessie. But there is a Java.
It's a technical question.
I know. There's a Java mod called Tweakaroo. I thought it was Tweakaroo. Anyway,
Maybe,
Tweakaroo.
I have no idea.
What it does is makes you able to free cam fast place blocks and a lot more quality of life stuff. A Fred wants to know if it's possible to do this on Bedrock for him. So is it?
No. Free cam potentially, sort of. I've seen weird stuff like that happening before by modifying the camera definition files, but I don't think that would be something you could easily do with an add-on at this moment, although it looks like they moved, I don't know if you're aware of this, Jessie, but the camera files that used to control the third-person camera, the third-person rear camera, the first-person camera, and there was even one called the debug camera. They used to have files in what was called the definitions folder inside of the game files. And then they recently got moved into the resource packs folder, suggesting to me that at some point in the future, we're going to be able to fiddle with those. And I say in the future because I tried to fiddle with them and it made no difference. But if they're in the resource packs folder, generally speaking, stuff in there you can make new ones of and fiddle with, and they will change in game. But it doesn't work with the cameras yet, so I'm assuming that's coming. I don't know how that would work in order to have a free cam. It might do, but stuff like fast placing blocks and the other things you suggest is no. Add-ons, generally speaking, is custom blocks, custom items, custom or modified entities, and being able to run functions and commands. It's not about... Well, sometimes you can do UI stuff in there, but it's not about how the player interacts with the world ever so much, really.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, the last question is from Turtley78, who says, "Hi, podcast crew. I was wondering if we had a backpack, not sure how to get it, and it took up your chest plate, how many extra slots would you need to add to your inventory to make it worth it for you guys?" Turtley78 fell from a high place because they were wearing their backpack. You didn't put your parachute in it, mate. You idiot. This is why you don't let other people pack your bags.
Yep,
Jeez.
Got to double check everything yourself.
Airport. Wow. Okay, Jessie, how many extra slots would you need to make a backpack worth it?
So I would say a full inventory is worth. So like I would want a backpack to have my full inventory. So what is that? The 3 lines plus a hotbar. So what? Double chest?
With your hotbar as well.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I want 4
hotbar
lines.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Jeez. Yeah, not messing about.
No.
I think just standard chest shulker box size, because I think if they do these quality of life things that we have suggested and put in the good ideas bin, such as allowing us to see our shulker box inventory and our inventory at the same time on the same screen while holding or standing near a shulker box, then we don't need backpacks because we technically already have them.
It's true.
So, yeah, just a single chest would do it for me. Any less is no good. Any more is an advantage. Personally, I would rather have a backpack that makes my hotbar wider and has 20 rows on it than 9.
Yeah.
So, but no, you can't do a mobile. Oh, shut up. No, I just scroll wheel with my mouse, mate. I'll get whatever I want. It's fine.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Okay, that is the end of today's questions. Again, if you would like to send us a question, and please do, then send us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com. Put question in the subject line or fill out the handy feedback form on our website, which is theminecraftupdate.com. Or if you are an expert level 99 listener, you can join our Discord and put it in there. And then people can respond to you and answer them before I get a chance to on the podcast. Sounds good, doesn't it, Jessie?
It does. Sounds brilliant.
Yes. All we got left to do is tell you what we're going to be up to this week, starting with Jessie, who is going to be...
I'm going to be streaming my normal schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I will have a video out this week. Yeah, I'm currently editing it, so don't exactly know what day it's coming out. But it'll be here this week, promise.
Nice. Okay, well, I will be streaming, as usual, Wednesday and... hang on a minute. Monday mornings, Thursday mornings, Wednesday and Thursday evenings. Ooh. And I've got 2 videos a week going out at the moment because I've got episode 2 of Truly Bedrock coming out on Saturday and episode 3 coming out on Tuesday because I'm currently already working on episode 4. But then probably from that point, I'm going to go back to doing 1 a week because I'll have other things to do. So, yes. Right, that is it. It's the end of the podcast. All that is left to do is to say the same thing that I say at the end of every single podcast. And that is, if you have forgotten that there aren't all of the different various of wood types of bookshelves in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, then you're a moron like me. Jeez. Okay. I'm going to go and... hang my head in shame, stand in the corner against the wall, Jessie, and I'll wait there till next week, I think.
Bye.
What a moron. I think I'm broken on the inside. There's no hope for me, Jessiie B.
It's okay. We still love you.
They shouldn't allow me to put things in the good ideas bin.